The biggest lesson I got from this book is that if you don't know yourself, you are destructive to everyone around you. I'm learning more and more as I'm getting more into the creative space that it's not about perfectionism. It's super I'm gonna read the books. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I have one more book to go, and plus I bought it. I'm gonna read it. Literally, it's when I pull out the stickers and stuff, and I start to annotate, you know it's good. This season is gonna be all about executing. Hi guys, it's me, Bree, and welcome back to my channel, Brifre. Alright guys, for those of you that are new here and for those of you that are returning, my name is Brianna. I am a 23-year-old woman of God, medical laboratory scientist, CEO and founder of Alcoy Industries and the Girls Want Knowledge Book Club, and also an upcoming writer. And we are in season 2 of Brifre, where I am doing everything that I want to do in hopes of inspiring you guys to do the same. Now, in this video, I'm going to go into something that I've picked up now that I've graduated and have more time. That is reading. This is something I was always doing when I was growing up. I loved reading. I read a lot, and now that I have the time, that I have my own place and I've graduated and I'm into my career and everything, I have time to get back into reading. And I wanted to make a video where I give you guys a life update on where I'm going since the last time I posted, which is like 8 months ago. I started my St. Martin's vlog, and I'm going to give you guys an update on my life and everything and where I'm at and what I got planned for the future and the future I have for this channel, as well as go over some of the books that I am currently reading, some suggestions, and my long TBR, because I just started reading in January, guys. I'm already like 139 books that I have collected. I wouldn't say collected because I haven't even started reading that much yet. I think I'm like 12 books in so far this year. So let's get straight into it. All right, y'all. First, I'm gonna begin with the books I have completed so far. And let's get into it. So first off was the first book that brought me, I'm missing a book, hold on. Sorry, I was missing a book. Okay, the first book that I want to get into is In Search of Our Mother's Gardens by Alice Walker. This is the same woman that wrote The Color Purple. Oh my gosh, y'all. I started this book the end of December and started reading in January, and this book single-handedly have opened up my mind as a creative, as someone launching a business, as someone that's getting into writing and trying to create my own book story, my own book series. This book went over everything. The experience as a woman, especially as a Black woman, she touched on everything. Like, I related so bad to everything she said. This was a 10 out of 10 book that I always recommend every time I go over books that I've started reading. 10 out of 10. Next, I have East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Now, I started off the year wanting to get into classics because I felt like if I'm hopping back into reading, I want to hop off with like the classics, with the things that are like, you know, the books that you must start off with, you know, before you get in. And, you know, this book had everything for me. It had the drama, it had everything. There is one woman in this book, this character named Kathy, and she is just destruction in personified. She's the human version of just terribleness, like the worst part a human can be. And for it to come from a woman was, I felt like, since this book was made in the 1950s, and you can tell because there are definitely some slurs that was in here that I even had to look up that was like, okay girl. And that's another subject that I want to talk on, but this book was like just 10 out of 10. I say so far these are in my top 5. Oh, sorry. These are in my top 5 for the year, and I really enjoyed these. Now next I have Ring Shout. This book was like okay for me. It was like more like the Sinners type vibe, and I saw what it was going for, but it was just missing something for me. It was a very good message about like what hatred really does, and you know what really fuels racism is just hatred, and how they can eat you alive, and like the monsters are like the living versions of hatred basically. And you know, starting off the book you're like, oh my gosh, let's go, let's get them, let's avenge ourselves for all the answers and stuff like that, but then by the end of the book you're like, okay, you know, 2 wrongs don't make it right kind of situation. But this was a very good book. It was, like I said, it was still missing something for me, but it was all right. Next, Children of Blood and Bone. Now this book was also just up there for me. It wasn't quite 10 out of 10. I say that this series, I've read book 1 and book 2. And I say that this book was fast paced. It kept my attention. It is very YA. If you're not into like young adults and stuff like that, then it's probably not your cup of tea, but it was good for me. It kept my attention all the way to book 2. I'm on book 3 now, but I got distracted and wanted to read more books because, like I said, it's 139 here, y'all, and I'm trying to get through more than one story. But the first book it made me feel all the emotions. It made me feel everything I couldn't imagine. I didn't know what side to pick, especially by book 2. You don't know. Once you learn the history, you don't know what side to pick. It's basically a story of vengeance and revenge and trying to claim back your greatness. And it was just a 10 out of 10 book. The village in the story, the main character, her peoples there, they have magic, and it was taken away from them by this ruthless king who had his own personal vendettas, and they're basically preyed after and killed off, and she is in charge of getting back her magic for her whole people. And it's just a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Well, I wouldn't say 10 out of 10. I'd say like 8 out of 10 altogether with like the whole series all together. But this first book was really a 10 out of 10. Next is a book that I literally finished today, I, Medusa. This book, top 5 for the year so far. Top 5. I could not put it down. I finished it today in one sitting. I was taking out my hair, and I read this while I was taking out my hair, y'all. I could not put the book down. I felt everything. I've heard so much about Greek mythology, and I know a bit of it. I know, when you think Medusa, like you look at her, you turn to stone, kind of ruthless, and that was my idea before going to it, but I never stopped to think what was her story, what brought her to that. And this book really personified her for me. It really just... You had empathy for her. You also forget that like she was so young when she was cursed and stuff like that. And it was just, as a woman, as a Black woman as well, it really touched on the adultification of young Black girls. And it just really tore me apart. But at the same time, you kind of understood her by the end of it. You kind of rooting for her. I'm not gonna lie. 10 out of 10. One of my top 5 books of the year. Next, I read Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This book it brought me through so much. It is an LGBTQ type book, and James Baldwin has a way of writing that you can really feel what he's feeling as he's writing this, because he was a bisexual Black male. And the story takes place in Paris, and you can feel all the Parisian things, and the main character, you can really feel his battle that is so frustrating as a reader, because he's just destruction. And the biggest lesson I got from this book is that if you don't know yourself, you are destructive to everyone around you. And I really got this from the book. It was really good. Next, a book that I thought sucked. Like, I really hated this book. Like, I don't know. Like, by the end of it, I was like, what did I just read? What was the point? Everybody on TikTok and stuff, when they talk about the class, they say you have to read Bell Jar, especially as a woman. I read it, and I was just like, this gave very much privileged white lady. And no shade, no tea, no shade. But, like, I couldn't relate. I just didn't get it. I felt like her qualms and stuff just really didn't make sense. And she really had all the privilege in the world. And as far as the mental health aspect, because the main character, she does go through a mental health situation where she just feels desperation. And I feel like she falls into a really deep depression that she loses herself in. And, for that part, I do sympathize, especially as a psych major. But all in all, it was just all over the place for me. Going into it, they said the girl was losing her mind. It didn't give she lost her mind. It just gave she was severely depressed. And then it was just unnecessary. Like, I just felt like the book, I finished the book like, okay, what? 0 out of 10. I don't feel it. Like, anybody girl, I didn't feel it. Next is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. I started this one, and I don't know why I stopped. I think I'm gonna pick this up again tonight on my shift. But this is a really, really, really good book. You know how it's like a book that in such a small amount of chapters, because I'm only like a third of the way through. It hit on so many topics that you really have to sit down, and that's why I put it down for a minute, because I really had to stop and annotate literally it's when I pull out the stickers and stuff and I start to annotate, it's good. I really had to sit down and digest almost every page in this book. This is the book you really have to take your time with. It's about a man that basically he's so good at adapting, and he's so well at just fitting in and appeasing everyone, that he's able to really sit back and watch the true nature of just the human condition. And it's just such a good book. Like, it's so interesting to see the aspects of so many different people in different lives, especially it's during the era of like the 50s, 60s, and throughout the book, he's a young Black man, and you're watching him grow into a man as you're reading it as well. It's just so beautifully executed. It made me go deeper into Ralph Ellison and to know what more of his life was about. This book is just there for me. Next is Mama Day. Gloria, I saved the best for last, y'all. This book is my top book of the year thus far. Mama Day by Gloria Naylor. Oh my gosh, when I tell y'all know, as I've gotten into this journey, right, I've been gravitating more to magical surrealism, the fantasy era, the sci-fi era, with a little bit of the factors of literary fiction where you're getting a lesson in the story, but it's so interesting and intriguing, and you're really enthralled in it with the character that you're learning with them as well. And this is what this book did to me, girl. If you're familiar with Gulag Geechee culture, it really touched a lot into that. You know, you got your mysticalism, you have everything on this island that is been in a black family for generations and owned by what were slaves, a freed slave, and she came to own the whole island. Her whole family is grown on this island, and there's other black members of the community as well that's on this island. And you just watch as the niece of Mama Day leaves the island. She goes to New York, she comes back, and she gets married and everything while she's up in New York, and she comes back with her newlywed husband, and all hell just breaks loose, y'all. This book was so good, I could not put it down. It jerked so many tears to me. I was so enthralled in this story. I'm surprised more people don't talk about it. Mama Day by Gloria Naylor, you guys have to get into it. So y'all, also, let me talk about my current reads. So like I said, I just finished Medusa. I'm also on Linden Hills by Gloria Naylor. After Mama Day, I had to get into Linden Hills. This is another book that I have a lot of black classes that was given to me by my grandmother, and this was a book that was also part of the books that she gave me along with Mama Day, and I had to get into it. So far, I do like it. I've started to notice a pattern with Gloria Naylor that she emphasizes the setting. The setting itself is like its own being that affects the characters in it, and I really love that about her writing. So far, I really like it. It's about a town that's more for prestigious black people, and there's a secret, like they're losing themselves every time they come into this town. And so far, that's all I got so far, and it sounds so good. I'm so intrigued. I only stopped it because the Girls Want Knowledge, my book club, that was our book club click, and I wanted to go ahead and start reading that one. And I just happened to get into Medusa and couldn't put it down, and literally just finished it today. But I'm gonna finish this up as well. It's not that big of a read. It's so good. Next is my read that I've been on since February. Y'all see how thick it is. It is The Count of Monte Cristo. This is written by Alexandre Dumas, the same guy that wrote The Three Musketeers. I did not know that he was also a black man. His father was a Haitian revolutionary that was falsely imprisoned, which goes into the story here of a young man that's also falsely imprisoned, and this is his whole revenge story. So far, it's layers on layers on layers, y'all. As thick as this book is, you would think that it's some boring section and stuff like that. It's really not. It's so many layers that goes on this book, and it's so stacked, and every page has a purpose. It's so good. The only thing is, you know, y'all, let's see how big it is, like 1,000-something pages. As much as I try to get through it, it's just like, every time when I open up the book, I can't put it down. But when I do put it down, I don't want to open it back up because I see how much I have left of it. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm 33% into it, and I also bought a Kindle so that when I'm at work or I'm on the go, I can pick it up here as well. As you can see, that's the current book that I have on my Kindle, and I'm just slowly but surely getting through The Count of Monte Cristo. It is a very good story. If you do have the time for it and you can have the dedication for it, it's such a good story. But guys, those are the current books that I am reading. Let's get into my most exciting part and what has trapped me in this new hobby, which is my TBRs. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. I'm missing a book. Now, this is controversial because I didn't know Miss Girl had such a controversial little situation going on. Here's my thing, right? The book is about fays and fairies, right? It's about a girl, you know, she is like the youngest of her family. She's been providing for her family since her mother passed away, and everything. Her father is basically a deadbeat. He don't do nothing for nobody. And as we progress through the story, you see the purpose of that and everything. But it's like mortals versus this fae realm, and you know they can transform and everything. And there's 6 different courses, and there's just a lot going on, right? It's layers to it. The story is good. I couldn't put the books down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a romance person. They did say that the woman was like a Zionist, and she used Breonna Taylor's death as a way to promote the books and everything, because she made a post that was like she changed the cover of the books and she hoped that this brings light in the midst of that dark situation. I feel like it was a stupid, you know, mistake that she made, but I also feel like it's not a reflection of the books. Like, I feel like when I'm reading fantasy and stuff like that, it's about fairies and mortals and battles between different magical realms. I don't feel like, and mostly if you're into classic literature, you should know that most of these authors and stuff are racist too. You can tell by the writing and everything like that too. But I take the literature for what it is for the most part. And so far, I mean, I'm not a romantic person. The story had me hooked. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I was like dying to get through. My coworker suggested it to me, but I feel like the stories about fairies and stuff, I'm gonna leave it at that until I found out that she did something blatantly racist or she's just super da da da. I'm gonna read the books. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I have one more book to go, and plus I bought it. I'm gonna read it, and I don't feel like selling it because I bought it. So that's how I feel about that. But A Court of Thorns and Roses, this is the series. It's a pretty good series. I give it all overall like a 7 out of 10. Like all together, I'm not a romance reader. I like fantasy. I like sci-fi. I like literary fiction. I like action. You know what I'm saying? And it has that things, but it's too romance for me. My thing is like, the world's falling apart. We got to follow these people. Why are we rolling around in the grass? Why are we doing it every 2 seconds? I don't care for that. I don't want to read that. It doesn't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But the story itself is pretty good. And then the only thing I don't like is also it's like all this story, most of it's romance and stuff like that. It don't really get good to the end. That's what hooks you. It's like those TV shows that you know suck, but at the end of it, they know how to leave you on a cliffhanger that makes you want to keep watching the show, even though you know it sucks. That's kind of how it is. Even though this don't really necessarily suck, the story is pretty good, but you know, that's just a metaphor, you know. But yeah, Court of Thorns and Roses series. I have one more book left. She's dropping a new book in October, I believe, and I'm gonna finish the last book closer to that date so that I have everything fresh in my memory. But Court of Thorns and Roses is pretty good. So that's everything I'm currently reading, y'all, and what I have read. And I'm gonna go into my TBR now. Before we get into this TBR, let me quickly give y'all an update. So I feel like reading, writing, public speaking kind of go hand in hand in my brain. And I used to write all the time growing up, my own little stories. I used to read all the time, and now that I am graduated, I have more free time. I'm mainly just focused on work and my business, my company Alcoya, and getting the book club up and started and going and everything. I now have time to go back into writing, and I found that now that I've been practicing by writing a few little personal essays and everything on Substack, and just going back to the fundamentals, refreshing myself on grammar, buying different textbooks, practicing different writings and stuff like that, I want to make my own book stories. And what has inspired it is me getting into these fantasy stories and collecting other fantasy stories. So that's my next goal. My big goal in life right now is also outside of getting Alcoya, because I still haven't launched, and y'all, that's like its own thing. Like starting a company, going into it, you think it's easy. Okay, just create your product, but it's my own perfectionism and just making sure everything is exactly how I want it, when really I'm learning more and more as I'm getting more into the creative space, that it's not about perfectionism, because you define what perfect is for your vision or whatever. And so just all last year was just setting the foundation and putting down the things and putting money into the things that I needed, like samples, and really crafting what I feel like the voice and what Alcoya will stand for has been the most difficult part. And going into my research and finding out that it normally took years for people to get through that stage, and I've accomplished a lot in that first year. And this year, I've learned to stop putting a date on everything, or when I'm gonna launch on this day. I want to launch by this day, because it's just stressful and you can't rush a creative process. And that's one thing that I'm really learning. But with this, and also at the same time, I'm also working, you know, getting through like a lot of hours, y'all, like a lot, like 2 full-time jobs, and also just learning how to balance post-grad, applying for PhD programs, applying for master programs. And I've learned that I didn't want to go straight into neuropsych for a PhD, but also because I didn't get into any of the programs, but also because, do I really want to sit and do clinical work? I want to be hands-on. I want to be able to look at the brain. That really fascinates me. Human cognition really fascinates me. The brain itself really fascinates me. And last year I took a neuroscience of cognition class, and that really opened my mind up to like the possibility of the brain itself, and even the science part of it, and even the math, because I hate math, bro. But even the science, like seeing those neurons and seeing extra potentials fly through and everything, that really intrigued me. So I think I'm branching more into neural engineering and neuroscience itself rather than just strictly neuropsych, because I've shadowed all last year. I shadowed neuropsych doctors and everything, and you sit there and you go through an assessment where you're giving these different test cards and everything to these patients for hours. and you're going through all these tests and everything, and then you write a suggestion or your own little paragraph that you write to like the neurosurgeon and everything, and you really don't see them again. You know what I'm saying? You're not like seeing the brain. You're not ever, and that's really what I wanted to do. And so branching off into that, at the same time going full-fledged this year and making it my priority to really get boots on the ground with Alcoya and really producing, because also just being procrastinating and not wanting to put the work in to create my products, to create the journals that I want, the planners that I want, the workbooks that I want to create and everything. And I feel like I just need to learn more. It's a psych as I do. So I'm entering a master's program. I'm taking more prerequisites for neuropsych. Not neuropsych, neuroengineering and neuroscience. So that's where I'm at right now. But let's get into my TBR and what I'm the most excited about. So I'm gonna start here. This is my TV stand, right? Over here, you guys can't really see it, but I'll do a close-up later. It's like most of the classics that my grandmother gave to me, along with some new ones that I've gotten. Most of my Black literature is over here, and my Black authors and everything are over here because I want that to be out in the open thing, yeah? But let's go over some, mostly down here, you know, I have all of the science fiction. Here in the middle, I have my classics and more fantasies and a lot of sci-fi. So let's get into it. Something that I'm really excited about. This one I've heard so much about, Children of Time. Don't know much what it's about. I know it takes place in space. I know that it challenges. I heard nothing but good reviews about it. So I'm really excited about this one. I have Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. I don't really like that's more of like me just exploring more of like economics and everything like that. So this isn't all just plain. Another one I'm excited about is The Raven Scholar. I heard that this one is also really good. It's a really thick one as well. It's more along the lines of a dark academia, and that genre really appealed to me when I was reading some of the summaries for some of the books. So I'm excited about this one. The Rage of Dragons. I'm surprised I don't have this up there, but this is from Evan Winters, and it's like a war dragons books, but it's a Black author in the sex in a Black setting. And you know, I love that. I haven't seen a lot of us in like dragon fantasy books like that, so this really intrigues me. I heard nothing but good reviews about it. So excited to get in this at some point as well. I'm gonna have to buy a cart and put my real TBR on there, because if it's out of sight, like this is in this cabinet, I close it. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So I'm looking at this again. I have 2 books by R.F. Kuang that I want to get into. I heard nothing but good reviews about her. She's more like the academic side. I heard she's like she went to like a lot of Ivy Leagues and stuff herself. But it's Babel and Catabasis. I've heard that these are so good. I heard mixed reviews about Catabasis, but I heard nothing but good reviews about Babel. Some of their favorite books of the whole year. I've heard a lot of people say. So I'm excited to get into this. May actually be one of my next close books, because right now with the Girls More Knowledge, Q2 and probably possibly part of Q3 is going to be mainly sci-fi and fantasy, because when I'm writing my own book about and everything, my own series, I want it to be sci-fi and fantasy, but I want to mix everything in there. You know, I've gotten some books on African mythology, I've gotten Greek mythology, I've gotten a book that have come on the way that's about all the mythical creatures ever from all across all different countries and cultures and everything like that. So I really want to have something that I haven't read before. So I feel like these first year or so, like 1 year or 2 years, I'm going to be focusing mainly on like just reading up and finding out more things about how it's structured, about how a book series really starts. Like with this, I found for $30, because we shop local, in my used bookstore, I found the Game of Thrones series, y'all. I've never watched a show or anything like that, but I know I heard it is good. So I got the whole series and I want to start that this year at some point. So we have a lot on the TBR, y'all. Here's another book that I'm excited about, Raybearer. Let me look at that cover. Here's another thing. I could not even open the book to read the summary. If the cover is fire, I'm gonna buy it. Look at that cover, y'all. I honestly forgot what this is about, but I know it's a fantasy book by another Black author, and you know, that's enough for me. It don't take much for me. Hello. All right, I do have a lot of nonfiction as well. I have The Wretched of the Earth. I heard this was a required reading by like the Black Panthers and everything, so I had to get it. I've never heard of him. I knew that he was born in the Caribbean, and that's about it. I know that he just hated colonialism as a whole and really exposed it. So I think that this is going to be a really good read for me. I like a good balance. Like I said, I do like my fantasy and sci-fi, but I love a good balance of nonfiction, literary fiction as well. Those two subjects really appeal to me. Especially after reading at least Alice Walker's, that really opened my mind up. This is a book that I heard a lot of mixed reviews about, and it's a thick one. So this is something that I feel like this is more like a winter read. This feels more like a winter read. I probably get this into the later half of the year, later like quarter of the year. This is Alchemized. I heard it's like another revenge story. It's like a full tale, and I heard it's really good. Again, y'all, it's 139 books in here. Like I said, only 6% I've actually read. So a lot of these books I don't really know a lot about. I go off basically off of TikTok reviews, Amazon suggestions as well. And that's that. This one I'm really excited about. I wanted to pull this one out. I have books up on my desk as well, y'all, because I have to buy another bookshelf. But this is the Emperor of Silence series. I heard that it is so good. It's the Sun Eater series, the name of the series. But I heard this is so good. It's about a guy that blew up a planet, and you start off knowing what happened, but it goes like left, right, up, and down. I heard that it's really good, and I feel like being that I want to get into sci-fi, this is a good one to start off with, and I'm excited about this one. I have the selected works of H.G. Wells. I heard that this is like a guy that a lot of iconic sci-fi and stuff is based off of his works and everything. He's like the beginning stage of sci-fi and everything like that. So I'm very excited to get into H.G. Wells. Y'all, my camera might finna die. Hold on. My camera is about to die. I have to plug her up. But yes, H.G. Wells, so excited to get into his works. Heard that he's so good, and I'm excited to like see what I can take and pull from some of his works. So excited about this one. Let's see. I have the Dune series here, y'all. I heard that one's good. I didn't watch the show with the movie with Tom Holland and stuff. Oh, was that Tom Holland? With the boy, y'all. What's the boy name? Chop. Not Chop. I forgot his name. Heard that one's good. City of Brass, I heard is a good one. This is one of the few Middle Eastern authors that I have in my library. I heard that this was really good. Again, another fantasy. Really excited about this because I've never seen one I haven't read one thus far that's set in the Middle East. So I'm excited to have some diversity added up in here. All right, let's see. I only have one Stephen King novel. I probably just picked this up at it was only $8, so I probably just picked this up because I thought the cover was interesting. I haven't read any Stephen King. I seen It, and I thought I was gonna start that, but that book was really, really, really thick. And you know what I'm saying? I already watched the show. What more do I need to do? Probably, maybe at some point, maybe next year I'll read it, but I don't know. Holly by Stephen King. Don't know much about it. The cover looked interesting. I know who Stephen King is. That's why I picked it up, and it was $8. I do have Leah Bargo's Six of Crows. I have Project Hail Mary. I have Fourth Wing. These are all like super popular ones that I wanted to get into. And then over here is more fantasy epics. I have have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I heard that this one's also a good one. I have the mass print of it. It seems really good. Octavia Butler. I'm so excited to get to her. I'm surprised I haven't started reading her yet. I have Parable of a Sawyer, and I have Kindred. I'm excited to get into her. I know that she's a Black author that's iconic in the sci-fi, dystopian, time travel type space, and you don't really hear a lot about that. So I want to take from some of her as well and see what I can what I like about these books as well. I'm very excited about these. I need to get a cart. So the ones I'm the most excited about, I need to put on a cart so I see it and I can pick it up, because sometimes I just pick up something up wherever pops up in my head first is what I read. J City. I heard this one is really good. I think it's set in China. I know it's set in Asia somewhere, and I heard that it's really, really good, fun to read. This may be another one that I add to my very close TBR. I heard it's like they're killing people in broad daylight. I heard it's like mafia, like an Asian mafia type situation. So excited to get into this one. Again, I have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have Hyperion. This cover is oh so fire. Like, I was like, whoa. I heard that it's really popular, iconic, and I was like, yo, it's a science fiction epic, bro. And I'm like, I'm gonna get into that. So excited to see what that's about. Like I said, I have the last book of A Court of Silver and Flames. I don't know why this book just called to me. I seen it at the bookstore in Barnes and Noble. And I passed by it, and I thought the second cover, I'm gonna put it up. The second cover looked so fire. But I was like, oh, I'm not gonna start. Obviously, I'm not gonna start the second book. I'm gonna get the first book. And then, but it was too expensive. It was like $20-some. I was like, girl, it's not worth it. And then I went to the bookstore, and this book was only for, I don't know what the price is. I think it was less than $10. It had to be. I was like, okay, this is my sign. I'm gonna get it. So it's like Victorian. I have to read the back because I don't remember. It was set in Victorian London, and they're being followed throughout countries, like in Tokyo. Like, it sounds so interesting by this mythical creature that's like super evil. That like, you know what I'm saying? Something I haven't heard before. I'm thinking this is gonna be so interesting. I don't know. I forgot what this is about, but it's called Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Morrow. The second cover was so fire, I had to get into it. Oh, another one that I'm so excited about. I heard nothing but good reviews about this. Everyone tells me I have to read is Sword of Kagan. This is another super epic, and the cover is oh so fire. Look at that, man. Yeah, I'm so excited to get into that one. I don't know what that's about. I know it's epic though. I gotta get a cart, y'all. I really gotta get a cart. Oh, since this fell down, let me talk about this. Foundation. Like I said, getting into the sci-fi, you know what I'm saying? I'm going into engineering. I want to get more into like, you know, physics and everything like that. They said this is like a hard sci-fi, and he's like iconic, Asimov. One of the podcasts I watched, Star Talk, he has debates and stuff in his own hall that he has, and he's super iconic scientist, and these books are really good. They just dropped the series on Apple TV, so I want to read the book before I watch the series or the movie or anything, because there's always more detail in the book, and the book is always better because it's by your own imagination. So I'm so excited to get into this. All right, let's see. That's what I got. Some V.E. Schwab here. I have Vicious. I have Fragile Minds. I heard Immortal Dark. This is another Black author. I heard this one was really good. I have Caraval. I have Reformatory. Legendborn. I heard so much about that thing, and I heard there's controversy about her too with Legendborn because she wanted to sign something for someone that was at her at BookCon or something. I don't know, girl. I'm gonna read the book though. Thank you. Now let's get into some of the Black classics that I have here. I'm just gonna point out some that I'm excited about and shout out some authors that I do have here on my classics and everything. This is a mix of some things I've gotten. I have Angela Davis's Woman, Race, and Class. I really do plan on reading this very soon. Like I said, I gotta get a cart. So the books I'm most excited about, I can have them in my face so I can see it. Like I said, I've seen like a lot of her interviews and clips of her interviews and her speeches and everything, and I always really relate to what she had to say. So this is the first book that I've gotten this is the first book that I've gotten of hers, and I'm excited to get into that. Next I have Zora Neale Hurston's Their Odds Were Gotching God. I have some Colson Whitehead here, The Nickel Boys. This should be down there, but this is a book that I bought a while ago, probably like in high school. Called The Upper World. It's like a YA teen fantasy book. I have a lot of Alice Walker given to me from my grandmother. Toni Morrison, you know, I read The Bluest Eye, which is something that I should have added at the beginning of the video. It's somewhere around here. I have The Bluest Eye. I read that book also in the beginning of the year, and it ripped me to shreds. I'm still recovering. That book was a lot. I had to drop straight. That's probably why I'm so into fantasy stuff. After reading that, I had to go straight into fantasy. It was very sad. I heard a lot of her books are like that. I have Beloved by her, Song of Solomon. A lot of these are, oh, here it is. Here's the copy of The Bluest Eye that my grandmother gave to me. So good. I have Walter Mosley. That's the same guy that wrote The Devil in a Black Dress, which is an iconic film. Oh, I have The Fifth Season, which is by N.K. Jemisin, a Black author that is known as well in the fantasy world. She's very, very good. I'm so excited to get into this one. They said this one is like a bit of a tougher read, so I'm excited to get to that one. I have Zeal by Morgan Jenkins, Colin Powell. We have a lot of Richard White. Alongside The Invisible Man, which I talked about in the beginning, I have Juneteenth. I did start to read this one, and I forgot why I stopped. It was a good story though. It was like a white boy that was raised by a Black family. He ended up becoming like the most racist person ever, and you're trying to see where that turn happened. That one was really good. Women's of Brewster's Place. I have a lot of books here. I'm gonna bring you guys up close. Alright guys, so here at the bottom I have like most of my textbooks and some more of my nonfictions. I have A People's History, as you can see here. I have Black Culture and Black Consciousness, Physics, because like I said, I'm taking this summer prerequisites for my engineering program, so I'm doing physics and calculus, all those good things that I hate and try to avoid with my psych degree, but you know, we have to do it now. So yeah, I've been really into though. Physics has actually been interesting to me. I bought this quantum mechanics, quantum physics books. I have a lot of philosophy books. I'm really excited. Like I said, I need to get that cart because this one, I really want to get into a lot of philosophy, especially Stoicism. I've really been feeling gravitating towards. So yeah, these are some more of my textbooks and everything. I have more books over here behind my desk. These are more fictions that I put up. What I'm really excited about is this 3 Body Problem book. I heard this one's really good. It's another sci-fi. This is one that I'm really excited about, the 3 Body Problem. I heard that one's really good. This one I haven't heard much about, but the cover was interesting, and I seen it at the book store, so it sounds really interesting. It was about a man. The government finds out that we have aliens, and they don't want the public to know. Her father finds out about it and tells the public, so they're after them. And then they kind of get shunned, and the main character ends up finishing up her father's work. So I think that's really interesting. This Moonbound book, the cover was so fire. Y'all see that? Like, I love covers like that. Forgot what it was about. I know it's another sci-fi, but the cover was fire, so I had to get into that. Cursed Daughters is another book that I'm really excited about a family that's cursed with men, and she's trying to break the curse that's put on every woman in her family. That one sounds really interesting. But yeah, y'all, we have a lot of reading to do. But yeah, guys, this is all in all everything that I got. Most of my books. I'm working on getting through everything. So yes, guys, that's mainly what I've been into since the 8th month that I haven't been posting. Finishing up school, I graduate. My graduation is next month. Next month, I'm also going on a trip to China to see my manufacturers in person. Take my first solo trip to China, so I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to take you guys along with me. This season is gonna be all about executing. I feel like last season was more about setting up myself, finishing up my bachelor's, and really setting myself up for what I want to do this year. So this year is going to be all about, implementing what I have planned, no longer holding myself back. And I'm excited to take you guys along the journey with me. Big things are planned as far as entrepreneurship, as far as career-wise with laboratory science and going into my master's program. And hopefully this inspires you to also do what you want to do and to continue pursuing your attainable vision, because every vision you have is attainable. It's me, Bree, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Bye.